All right, guys, welcome back to the show. I am really excited about today's topic because we're going to have an incredible guest here with us today. And I definitely want you guys to be able to hear his amazing story. So I want to help welcome to the show Mr. Isaac Flores. Isaac?
Mana.
Do, 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 do.
What up, guys?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Here.
So yeah, a little something that we have going on in here. Anyway, man, it's so excited to have you here, man. I've been really wanting to do this for a while because I want the world to know how incredible your story and you as a person really are. And so this is definitely going to give me an opportunity to get a glimpse inside who the man is and stuff. So welcome.
Thanks.
Cool, man. So tell us a little bit, man, about you, right? Because when people see Isaac, they don't really know anything. They just kind of see like little mini me, so to speak, running around, right? And I know you've gotten that a lot, right? But just kind of expand on who you are a little bit. Help people understand why I think it's important for you to be here and share your story with them.
That's always a question that always gets me. Like, I don't really know how to always explain myself, but I mean, I'm 8 years old, and I'm here because of the grace of God, honestly. Because Doc said I wouldn't be alive by the age of 2, and obviously that's changed. I got different plans. I am outgoing person. I'm humble. Like I'm crazy at times,
Yep.
and I'm funny as shit sometimes. But
Sometimes.
all in all, I'm just me. Like I'm a unique character.
Cool. So let's talk about that a little bit because you want to help it. I want to help elaborate a little bit on some of what you explained. You say you were not supposed to be alive past the age of 2.
Yeah.
Why was that? What happened?
Obviously, I was a baby at the time, so I don't really know all the story. But
Your version of
from
it.
from the stories that I've heard from my mom and stuff, I've since birth I've had complications. I couldn't eat by mouth. Like when I was a baby, I couldn't been drinking milk. I was in and out of surgery from like baby since birth. I used to have a tracheotomy since like at the age of like 12 days old, I think, or something like that, from what I understand. So what I know is that the stories is my mom would like try to take me home from the hospital, and I'd get home and I'd have complications, and they'd rush me back to the hospital, just in and out for the first 3 years of my life, 2 or 3 years of my life, and it's been it's been rough for my family, but it's been a journey, and it's something that helps mold me, help me learn about life and stuff.
Yeah, man, that's pretty powerful. And I know this because you're leaving out some of the details, and I'm fortunate enough to have learned this over the years with you. But folks, one of the things that he's not mentioning is that by the time he was 3, he's probably been over 30 surgeries for different reasons, all relating to basically making sure he's staying alive. So this kid has gone through so much, and he's faced a lot, and he's just actually like came out of there like a champ, So fast forward now, he's in high school, right, and he's kind of going through like his typical phase of being a kid, just doing everything and all that. And then he gets faced with something quite different. I'd share that.
What are we talking about?
Well, I mean, all the different things that happened. I know you had the whole hip thing with.
So the hip thing was in middle school. Yeah, so the hip thing was like about sixth grade.
So what happened
Fifth to
exactly?
sixth grade. It was like a regular routine, like X-ray and stuff, and they saw like a little spot, so they thought it was a little tumor. So they ended up going to surgery for it, and it was so they took it out and they put like a plate on my hip, and that was some fun times because I was in a body cast for 6 months. That shit wasn't fun. I spent Christmas in a body cast. It was funny, crazy, not fun at the same time. Crazy stories. But then once I got out of that, I was in a wheelchair for another 6 months because I had to learn how to walk again because I was like stiff. The only space I had was like my left leg, but like from my knee down, just to like move it. Other than that, it was just straight cast from my chest all the way down, which was wild. Yeah,
Wow. Okay, so there's that, and
yeah.
then we get into high school, right?
And then fast forward high school. Since I was born, I had scoliosis. So what scoliosis is you have like a hunchback. Perfect way to I love to perfectly visualize it for people is the Disney movie Hunchback from Notre Dame. That's how bad my hunch was. Like it was curved, so it made me shorter than I was, and then but I just lived on with it because that was just normal to me. I was like, okay, cool. Like it never really stopped me from doing sports or just playing in the playground, just being a kid.
Being a kid,
Just
yeah.
I mean, I was fast and stuff. Everybody's like, oh my god. But I mean, like I said, I was like a normal kid in the neighborhood, riding around, playing football in the streets, riding on bicycles, doing all kid stuff. By ninth grade, I went up to Florida State to see this big back surgeon to give me like a to see if he could repair my back, and he was like, "Nah, I can't. The surgery's too risky, and with your like body and your anatomy is too crazy. Like, I don't want to do it." Fast forward like a year or two later, I went to Orlando to meet one of my surgeons that did all my surgeries as a kid, like my everything. Like, so it was God sent because literally in that same hospital was the same doctor I went to go see at Florida State. And at the time I wanted to like breathe better and like try to eat more. So they were talking about cutting my collarbone for the airway to open up and be more relaxing. So I went to go see the doctor and he's like, "Oh, I don't think you should do that. I think with repairing your back, it would help you out more." And we're like, I mean, yeah, I'm down for that. And he's like, "Yeah, so I'll team up with the surgeon that already knows you, and he will help me out in the surgery, like in the OR pretty much." So I was like, "Yeah, I'm down." So the recovery time was set to be like 2 to 3 weeks. So I was like, "Okay, let's do it summertime," because I was in high school and I didn't want to miss school. And I was like, "All right, summer I don't really do much, so let me just take that downtime." So it was 2011, summer of 2011. I went in for the surgery, and then since I'm a pro at surgery already, I already know what to do. So I said, I, what at surgery day, I remember because my mom, I was like, "All right, I'll see you when I get out." As we're going in, I'm already sleeping because I hate the sleeping guys. So I'm like, let me just fall asleep right here.
Mm.
So whatever, they still put the sleeping gas, unfortunately. And then 2 weeks later, I wake up. I'm like, "Oh, how's the surgery?" My mom's freaking out because there was plenty of complications
Yeah.
through that surgery. I mean, for me to wake up 2 weeks later, that just says enough, right? It's crazy. And then I asked what happened, and they're telling me all these complications and how supposedly I would be paralyzed from the waist down because I guess they hit a nerve or something. I don't know. It was just things that they told me, but I forgot because I wasn't ready to like listen to that. But I do remember them telling me that the way they found out that I was able to walk again was like I was laying down and then like one of my pinkies started moving, like one of my toes, and everybody was shocked and even the doctors were like, "Oh, what the heck?" And then from there, like I said, I woke up because I was like in a mental coma, I guess, with all the drugs and like all the beating my body took. Cause supposedly I was there, like I would interact, but I don't remember any of that.
Mm.
Like I said, all I remember was going into surgery room and just waking up with my mom like stressing out of me trying to get back up and all
Mm.
that. So
Yeah.
I was in that hospital for from that 2 weeks and another 2 weeks to try to like mobilize a little bit, and then I went to Jacksonville for rehab for another month. So that was that summer, and then I had to go back to school. So my junior year, I was in a wheelchair for another 6 to 8 months, and
Pretty
you,
much the whole school year then, huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
which was fun, kind of. I mean, I got to get out from class early, get in class early, leave school early whenever I wanted. I was a little troublemaker, anyways, but yeah, it was rough, just learning how to walk again, and
Mm.
even then, like at that moment, after learning, just trying to walk without crutches or anything, like my left leg was bad. I felt that my left leg was bad. Like every time I'd walk, I feel like I was walking with a wooden pirate leg. Like I would stumble on it, and
Mm.
I would walk literally every 2 steps. My leg would go dead, and I'd trip. I'd catch myself, like I wouldn't fall completely, but I would stumble for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I came to Lionel,
Yeah. That's literally how I met
and
you.
that was literally 3 years later too. So I was stumbling for, yeah, like 3 years later.
Yeah. So in between that, before you actually got a chance to meet me, right? Like right before you left high school or right after you left high school, what happened on your first trip? Because that's kind of an important thing as well, right? Because you
Yeah,
had that
yeah.
surgery, you had the rods in your back, straighten up everything, learning how to walk,
So the first
and
surgery was, I think it was like 12 rods up my back, and then they did some other procedures. So I get on with my life, and then I graduate high school, and then I guess an adult now, right? 18. You think you're an adult, sure, cool. And then my brothers, we already graduated. We're all doing our thing, and we decided to go to Orlando for like a guys trip, like a little getaway. And I'm like, okay, I'm down. I pay for my stuff, and then the night before, I'm cleaning my room. Well, the day of before, I'm fixing up my room, and I eat through a tube. So like I get these special milks that are like comes in big crates. They're like about 20 pounds, I guess. But at the time, I didn't know how to lift anything, so I went down on the floor to grab it, and I used all my back. And then when I stood up, all I heard was a clap, and I just dropped to the side. And man, that really hurt.
hmm,
That was unexpected pain, and I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm gonna lay down. I'm good. The whole night I was in agony.
hmm,
My mom gets home. She's like, "Oh, you're right." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, my back just hurts." Like just brushing it off. And then the next day I went to the trip. My mom that morning was like, "You sure you're gonna go? Don't worry, I'll pay you back for the money." I was like, "Nah, it was more the experience for me, because I had never gone out without my parents,
right.
without like with my friends,
Yeah, that was your
just
first time being alone.
yeah, it was just me. So I ended up going
Mm.
to Universal Studios. We get to Orlando, we get to the parks. I'm like wobbling like bad. And I'm just fighting through it. I'm just ignoring the pain. And once we get to like the entrance, I was like, yo, can I rent a wheelchair? I guess I was looking that bad. They're like, yeah, you need one. So I'm riding around Universal. My boy's pushing me. I'm getting on most of the rides. Like we get on most of the roller coasters that I could do. Because even before then, like when we go to parks, I couldn't do roller coasters because of my back. Because most of those warning labels is if you have back injuries, don't get on it. So as a kid, I never did them. But
Mm.
now, if I go, yeah, I'll dare myself sometimes. So going back to that story, so we get on those rides, and that kind of messed me up. But I was like having too much fun that I was like, whatever. The next day, I didn't even leave the hotel. Honestly, I was just in pain. We went somewhere, and I was like, yo, take me back. Y'all can do whatever y'all want, but I'm beat. My mom FaceTimed me. She's like, you're in pain. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie about that. So she buys me a ticket to fly from Orlando back to Miami, even though we are gonna leave the next day. But she's like, no, you need to be home, this and that. Mom's always right, right? So I get back Monday. Monday I get back. I have an appointment with my doctor. My luck, everybody got to work, so I got to drive myself to the hospital, walk to the office with a broken back, and I get to the doctor's office. They're like, "How are you walking? Like, how are you by yourself?" I was like, "I gotta get here." So they did surgery. I mean, not surgery. They did the X-rays. I went home. I didn't hear nothing from my doctors. My mom gets home, and then she tells me the news because the doctor called my mom, and she's like, "You broke your rods." I was like, "Huh?" She's like,
Titanium rods, by the way, that are supposed to be unbreakable.
"Yeah, the X-ray shows that you broke your back pretty much. Broke the rods on your back." I was like, "Oh." So we had to. Luckily, at the time, since the back surgeon was like ped surgeon, but since they knew me, they're like, "Yeah, well, we'll let you slide and you could come back."
Yeah.
So, but I had to wait another week and a half because they had found like a bacteria in me, so I had to get antibiotics and cure my whole system and stuff. So I was in bed for another 2 weeks,
Mm.
and then yeah, it was a wild ride. And then luckily at the second time it went smooth. I get to the office in Orlando. They're like, "How'd you break your rods?" I was like, "I don't know. I just broke them. They're titanium. They're not supposed to be broken." Well, I broke them, and then so they did. They're like, "All right, you're never gonna break them because we put double the rods on each side." So I went from having 12 rods to 22 rods on my back. I was
Or
like,
26.
or 26, whatever. The 20 numbers, you know?
All right, guys, thank you for tuning in, for listening in to part 1 of Isaac's incredible story. Make sure you tune in next week for part 2, where he gets to dive in a whole lot more into how we met and how everything transpired from there. You really want to be here for that. Thank you again for tuning in and listening in, guys. If you have any questions about anything that's transpired here, or you want to learn more about our process, what we do, how we can help you, you just want to chat in general, just reach out to us or any of our social media at Get Lion Strong, or you can go on the website at getlionstrong.com, send us an email, send us a text, schedule for an appointment so you can actually have a conversation and get to know more about you and what's going on and see how we can help you become the absolute best, biggest badass you can be. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Peace out. I'll see you guys on the next one.